Alright, to start it off, I found this windmill with glittery black witches flying on a broom, and I am going to just go ahead and put the regular prices on the screen, but just keep in mind that JoAnn usually keeps everything at 40% off unless they have another sale, and it's like 50 to 60% off, which is more towards the end of the season. I personally don't remember seeing any of these windmill situations last year. They may have been there and I'm just not remembering. But then they also had this black glittery bat windmill, and this is what comes on the back. It's the little stake that goes into the ground. And then they also had this light up moon. They also had a pumpkin, a ghost, a skull. I don't know what else I'm forgetting, but I will be showing them in a minute. But they did have these last year. I don't know if any of them are new, but I do remember seeing these last year. They have these Halloween string lights for $14.99, and then they also had these lights for $24.99. And then they have this light up boo sign for $49.99. I feel like they had these last year, but they might have been slightly different. I don't know if I'm misremembering. Again, this is something that I think they had last year, but it might be slightly different. They have this posable skeleton for $99.99, and I definitely would not purchase them from here. Even with the 40% off, they're still $60, and you can get these elsewhere for a lot cheaper. They have this skeleton pumpkin that lights up for $34.99. A lot of the next few items are items that they carry usually every single year.
I've been dying to see you. Nobody loves me.
They also have these skeleton hand stakes. These are each $19.99 a piece, and these are slightly different than last year's stakes. They're a little bit more lightweight and a little bit different in color, I think. They also have this skull for $19.99. The jaw does move, and I swear I'm not trying to flip you guys off, but it's really hard to record with one hand and try to move the jaw. They had another skeleton pumpkin in a smaller size for $24.99. And then they had this, what is it, a rooster for $34.99. They also have this dragon skeleton for $39.99, and they also had this snake skeleton for $29.99. They have this dragon skull for $59.99, and again, the jaw is movable. They also had these miniature skeletons again this year, this one for $14.99, and then the regular one for $9.99. I totally forgot to show the flamingo, but I will be showing that in another video. They also have this skull for $34.99, and again, his jaw does move. And then last but not least, in this section, they have this skull for $99.99. So with the 40% off, it would be $60. His jaw does not move, in case you were curious. They have a bunch of different yard stakes. They have this haunted house for $39.99. And then they had this 3-pack of jack-o'-lantern yard stakes, and I did my best to try and show you guys the different faces on them, but since they were packaged together, it was kind of hard. They have this witch's hat, and this is solar powered. The lights are on the back of the hat where the spider webbing is. They have this truck with the jack-o'-lanterns in the back that says Happy Halloween for $39.99. And then they have this little skeleton guy for $39.99. And then they have this ghost windmill for $39.99. And then they have this spiderweb cake tray cupcake stand thing for $29.99. I'm pretty sure they had this last year. And then they have this ceramic ghost tray for $19.99. And then again, this is ceramic for $12.99. They have this salsa and chip tray for $14.99. This is plastic. And again, this is also plastic, and it is $14.99. And then they have this metal spider bowl for $29.99. I actually noticed a lot of this stuff is repeats from last year. However, I don't remember seeing this last year, this little ghosty bowl for $39.99. And then this ceramic spider web tray for $12.99. And then this little ghost guy, he's also ceramic for $12.99. And then they had these small ceramic bat trays for $12.99. And then they had this 2-pack of skull plates for $12.99. I tried to do my best to show you the face of the plates, like the skull face, but since it was packaged together, it was kind of hard. They have this 3-section tray with a skeleton on it for $14.99. Again, it's plastic. And they have this little cauldron with the spider web on it for $19.99. I feel like they had those last year. Might be wrong. Then they had this bowl, again, plastic for $14.99. And then another chip and dip bowl for $14.99. This is another 2-pack of plates for $12.99. And then again, this is another 2-pack of plastic plates for $12.99. And then they had this set of 3 ceramic bowls of jack-o'-lanterns all connected for $24.99. I loved my description of that. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk a little bit. You guys can see the prices on the screen. But when I first walked into JoAnn's, I had my daughter and my son with me, and my daughter was so helpful, and she took her little brother so I could record. And as soon as I seen the Halloween stuff, as soon as I walked around the corner, my jaw literally dropped, and I was just immediately excited. So around this time, as I was filming, someone entered the aisle and she did the exact same thing as me, and I think she could tell that I was like looking at her, and I might have been smiling a little bit. But she looked at me and she was like, oh, I'm so excited. And I was like, yes, I had the same exact reaction. I was so excited when I walked down this aisle. I just felt like I had to share that little story because honestly, it was so nice to see somebody else just as excited as I was in the store, because a lot of the time, the reactions that I will get from people when they walk down the Halloween aisle and they like see everything, they're just like, ugh, Halloween out already? And it's so annoying. It's very rarely that I'll see somebody who's just as ecstatic as I am to see that Halloween is being put out early. Honestly, this is probably the earliest that I have seen it put out near me. So yeah, that was just like the icing on the cake. Anyways, the majority of these hand towels are $9.99 unless it comes in a 2-pack. Then they are $14.99, and it's usually like one Halloween hand towel and then like a solid color hand towel. And there is more of these hand towels towards the end of the video. They just had it in a different aisle, so I did not group them together. So this is a placemat. There's one in it and it's $9.99, so like $6 with the 40% off. And then this is a table runner for $29.99 and it has like scalloped edges. And then they have these oven mitts and they had these last year. These are $29.99. And then again, they had this last year. This is the skeleton apron for $29.99. This is another placemat for $9.99. And then they have, I do believe this is another table runner for $29.99. And this one has tassels on it. And then they have this jack-o'-lantern and bat tablecloth for $39.99. And then they have this metal skeleton stake for $99.99. And honestly, I don't really know how well this would stand up in the yard. I'd be a little bit iffy about it just because it's so tall. But again, I don't know, just something to be caution about? Something to be cautious about. Anyways, then they have this black witch's silhouette stirring a cauldron for $79.99. And honestly, I'm thinking about doing a witch theme in my yard this year, so I'm contemplating buying her. And then they have this boo stake for $79.99. And then again, they had these plastic planters. I think it's a planter. Yes, it's a planter. They had these last year. They are $59.99. And then they had these light up trees. They had these last year. The smaller one is $79.99 and the larger one is $99.99. And then they had this light up witch's hat for $69.99. They had these witches leg stakes for $29.99. And again, honestly, I was thinking about purchasing these. I'm trying to be careful with my selection of Halloween stuff this year. I kind of want to get some more yard stuff rather than indoor decor, but we will see. Anyways, these next couple of items again are repeats of last year. They have this plastic cauldron for $39.99. Again, this is something I would not purchase at JoAnn's because you can find it cheaper elsewhere. And then they have this cauldron, this is a cauldron, cauldron planter. And then they had a nice selection of rugs. This one was $19.99 with the little ghost in the haunted house. I don't know why I didn't get a better close-up. I apologize. And then they have this little cat that says trick or treat. And then these jack-o'-lanterns for $24.99. I actually kind of liked this one. And then I liked this one as well, but I wish the mat would have been flat on the top and then it rounded around the jaw, if that makes any sense. And then again, I really liked this one, Beware All Who Enter. And then they have this one, Welcome to Our Web, for $24.99. Again, there's just quite a few to choose from. I really liked a lot of these rugs. Okay, I have to say something about this rug. This one says Shoes Off Witches for $24.99, but what is going on with her eye? I don't know why they just didn't make it a solid silhouette. It would have looked a lot better, in my opinion. And then moving on to the last two rugs, this one is $24.99 and it has some tassels on the edges, and then this one for $24.99, and again it has smaller tassels. And then they have this pillow that says it's just a phase with the phases of the moon for $49.99, and then this pillow with the tassels on the corners for $49.99. And then this I saw online and I was so excited, but then when I saw it in person I got a little less excited because I thought the inside of the skull was hollow so I could put stuff in there. I would have preferred it that way, but I still think it's kind of cool. And then they had this like crescent moon ceramic container for $24.99. I think I would have liked it a lot better without the face and if it just had the texture throughout the whole thing. But that's just me. And then they had these taper candlestick holders. Again, they had these last year. They had it in 2 different sizes. And then they brought back this pillar candle holder. This is $39.99. I actually own this. I thought it was so cute. And then another repeat from last year, the moon mirror for $59.99. I am actually really surprised at how many items that I saw were repeats from last year. Then they have this moon phase garland, and this was $29.99. I did my best to show you guys this, but it was stuck on the thing and I didn't want to break it, so this is what you get. And then there was this welcome mirror for $49.99. I quite liked this skull. This skull was $19.99. I loved the little sun on the side. I just thought it was so cute. And then they had this little fortune teller hand for $24.99. And then the next 3 items are all $19.99. They are these little potion bottles with the skull topper, a moon topper, and what was the other one? I don't remember. We'll see here in a second. Snake topper? Yes, a snake topper. They do not come out. They are glued in there, just so you're aware. And this one, I held it up to the light. It's like a dark blue color. And then again, another garland. This was like a wooden garland, and $19.99. And then they have this eye mirror. Again, this is a repeat from last year. And then the moon phases for $14.99. I do believe this is new this year. This was $24.99 and it does light up. I do think this is kind of cute. And then they have this sign, you say witch like it's a bad thing, and then the hands are kind of sticking out. They're like 3D. They're kind of like sticking out. Oh my gosh. Anyways, here are some more of the towels that I was talking about. The moon phases towel. And then they have this towel that says the moon made me do it. All of these are $9.99. They have this mantle scarf for $19.99. I thought this was really cute. I don't own a mantle though. And then they have this lace tablecloth for $24.99. And then they have this door panel for $24.99. I would love to get this, but my cat would destroy it in like 2 seconds. So it's a no for me, unfortunately. And then they have this vinyl tablecloth for $9.99. They did have some more. I didn't show it in this video. Hopefully it will be in the next JoAnn's video that I do. And then they have a few of these mugs for $9.99. They have the same saying on the back of the cup. on all of the mugs that I'm showing. And then they have this ceramic cauldron for $19.99. And then they have this little glass jar for $24.99. And then they have this little set of cauldrons for $59.99. I actually really liked the color and the texture of these. I thought it was cute. And then they have this ceramic witch's cauldron with the moon phases for $59.99. And then they have these light up apples. They come in two different shapes. They have this one for $34.99, and then they have this one for $39.99. And then they had this light up moon sign that said the moon made me do it for $19.99. And then they also had this skull with the snake wrapped around it for $29.99. And then they had this little accordion sign thing. I don't know what else to call it. But this was $24.99. So this is a repeat from last year. However, they made it a little bit different. Last year, it didn't come with the little black base on the end. And honestly, I kind of prefer last year's over this year. You may like it better, but I personally liked the one last year better. I do own it. And then they have this little guy. He is $29.99. They have this skull tray with the moon phases for $14.99. And then they have this tray with the moon phases also for $14.99. And then last but not least, they have this 4-pack of plates with the moon phases for $24.99.